Hello everyone, this is Kay in the Collective Soul Tarot. Welcome to the channel and welcome back. It's nice to be here with you today. Again, we're going to do a general reading for the collective, and as you can see, I have a little bit different layout, and I'm going to be doing the collective readings a little different now. My cards have come in, the decks have come in, I should say. So let's get going. I'm going to start off with the Intuit Oracle, and to get the past, present, and near future energies. And then I will clarify with the Seer Marchetti decks, and then put out a tea leaf for each past, present, and near future, and a couple of tarot cards. Okay, and I'm going to intuit from there. So Archangel Michael and my Holy Spirit, can you please guide and assist me today by enveloping me in your beautiful angelic wings of guidance and protection. Love. Thank you. What messages do you have, Archangel Michael and Holy Spirit, for the collective today on this reading, Tuesday, January, I should say. January the, what is it, the 23rd today? Yep. Excuse me, 2024. Okay. First one for the past is the Falcon. Rising above, abilities, strategies, skills, focus, a transition, changes, higher self, third eye, far-reaching vision. So somebody has been strategizing, trying to come up with a plan in the past here. And they've been being assisted by the divine in formulating that plan, whether they know it or not. Okay. Let's see. Magnet. No. Longing and a desire. Gravity. Magnetic attraction. Charm. Je ne sais quoi. Which means I don't know. I do believe. Seduction. Yearning. Field of influence. So with this partnership that you have with the divine, whether you are conscious of it or not, collective, you have become with this desire to reach a certain goal or more goals, formulating a strategy for yourself, a plan of action that the divine has had their hand in. You are being able to have a vision. You've been seeing with your, your third eye. You've been seeing envisioning what it would be like for you. As a result of that, you're magnetizing that reality to you. You're magnetizing what it is that you're envisioning here in the past. Right now, you are drawing that to you. Whether you see it or not right now, but you will. That's the message. And then the Moose, imposing, powerful, independent, time alone. Attitude is everything. Be calm, cool, and collected, and be confident, and living independently, like with solidarity, autonomously, in the sense that you do not come forward into your new beginning, your new life, with a sense of I got to cling on to someone or something in order for me to be at my best, right? It's not about you needing to have somebody. It's you wanting to have somebody. And we all know the difference between that. Okay, so that's the past, present, and near future and energies, and that all looks really, really good and promising. Awesome, guys. So let's go ahead and clarify. I keep moving my cards around. It's only because I just haven't got my thoughts together with placements and stuff like that. So just bear with me. Thank you. Okay, Archangel Michael, what do we have for clarification for Falcon? The Cross card. That's heavy burdens, right? Heavy burdens. Depression, sadness, sorrow, grief. And a pathway. Wow. So you're rising above. And you're in a transition, being able to focus on what's at the end of your path, which is never really the end, but it's in the light. It becomes a whole different reality, a totally different reality than What you might see as beautiful here before the light, before you enter, you're going to see it so much more vibrant and so much more, like you're just going to understand so much more about how this all began, how it all came about. And I'm talking about our reality as on planet Earth, and how sorrows have helped us to realize what it is. You know, the burdens have helped us see through our pain of experiences of what we want to have. Because oftentimes when people ask us, well, what would you like to see happen? And we sometimes go, well, I don't know. I mean, just something better than this, right? Well, when you're in struggles and pain and challenges and stuff like that, we suddenly become acutely aware of what it is that we really want to have, what we really want to experience. So it helped us do that. Here's the King of Cups, gentleman number 1 of the Gilded Reverie, and the House. Yeah, this is like a home, right? And look at this home. Isn't it like elaborate, gorgeous? Just the outside of it being all decorated up, like kind of like a gingerbread house, but not, because it's Victorian, but it's so ornated. It's so, like, so much detail and love went into this, and creative mastership went into constructing and decorating that particular house. And that's what we're doing when we go into the light. That's what we're doing as we're walking our path to move into the light. We're actually through all of our experiences and knowing what we have had that we don't want, we know what we do want, and as a result, we're constructing something very elegant and beautiful within ourselves. This home here, this house, is like it's your own. It's your home, which means it's what's inside of us. It's what's inside of us. So it says, you know how it says, "As above, so below." Well, the same is the same thing as within. No, so within as within, so without. Pardon me. Okay, and you're drawing all this beauty into your life as a result of what you've been through and what you know you want, knowing what you don't want. Hope that makes sense. So Moose, let's talk about this imposing, powerful, independent, time alone attitude and everything, calm, cool, and collected, confident, and solidarity. Near future. Well, of course, abundance, right? These two cards come out a lot, it seems, these days. And I mean, I got a lot of cards to pick from. They're coming out and I shuffle them big time, all the time. Wow. So near future, we have, like, the fantasy is going to, you're going to be continuing to envision, because you've learned. You learned from your past that in order for you to be able to rise above everything, you had to change. You had to make a transition from the lower thinking, the lower mind thinking, to the higher mind thinking. That's a higher self with that third eye, far-reaching vision. You've learned that this is the way, like, for you now. From now on, this is the way. I will be envisioning what it is that I want to experience in my life. And this money and prosperity card has to do with abundance in all its forms, not just financially, which it includes that, of course, abundance in finances, but it also means abundance in having that strength and power that you've been able to draw from within yourself. It's making you feel very powerful. You're becoming, and have become to some extent already, becoming a powerful magician, in that you're manifesting. You're manifesting what it is that you're envisioning. You're spending time thinking about what it is you want to attract in your life right now. And you are, this King of Cups here, he has got his foot into love. You know, the water, as you see in the other tarot cards, the King of Cups has got one foot and his toe tipped into the water. So he's in touch with the love that he knows within himself. He's in touch with that. His emotions, it feels like your emotions are becoming more balanced. Kind of like this here. Emotions are becoming more balanced and they're not so out of whack, in the sense that you're ready to react and pounce on somebody who's been pouncing on you. You give yourself time to think, and you put a pause between what is happening and how you will respond to it. You're putting a pause in there. Moving slowly in life, and I don't mean like moving slowly like the way you walk or the talk or anything like that. Moving slowly is like making sure that it's right for you, like checking in with your higher self. Your higher self, checking in with that falcon, who has the best, it has a very good eye for what's below, because it can sit on very high branches. It has a much higher perspective. Excuse me. So anything that's brought you sorrow and burdens before, that's been on your path, it has helped you be able to rise up, right? Rise up the tree, the ranks of your spiritual development, your inner sight, your inner knowing. Just knowing better now. Knowing better. You've come across some truths about who you are and what your life has been about. You've come to know some things, and this is in the past. And as a result of this, knowing that you've been walking a path, even though you weren't quite conscious of it before, you know it now. You know it now, and you're taking that one step further by taking advantage of this, that ability, that truth, that knowing, that inner knowing, and using it to draw to you the very things that will make you feel, that will help you to go even deeper in your love for yourself, number one. And as a result, you will magnetize someone to come into your life who is also a good vibration, at that very similar vibration as yours. And that will feel like home to you, because your home that you have created and constructed strategically with consciousness, right? Being conscious and aware now, whereas not so much being conscious and aware before. It was kind of like we were living by default. Just whatever happens, and if something happens that we don't like, we generally look for somebody to blame, but not anymore. This one is taking responsibility for their actions. They fully understand. The falcon fully understands that if he doesn't keep an eye out for what's going on below, he's going to miss out on his dinner, right? So he's acutely aware of what it is that's below. And for a human being, that would be what's below is like our fears about being able to catch what we need for our next meal. Our fears about being able to attract or not attract, because when we're in a different mindset than like the lower mind, we're not really thinking about attraction, the law of attraction, which is what this magnet's talking about. It's talking about trying to make it happen yourself. Our little will compared to the higher self's very expansive, all-knowing will, which they all say is God's will, right? So you have become acutely aware of what's been hanging you up, that's deep down inside of you, that has caused you to be delayed in making more, let's say, fruitful decisions, more abundant type of decisions, with the people that you attract into your life, that come into your life because of the lower mind thinking of 3D world, right? The higher mind is now something that you're taking seriously. And so that means that you're going to be able to put these burdens down, your sorrows and grief about what it is that you feel as though you might have lost out on. You know that if you get yourself into the light more, spending more time in the light on your path, that you're going to be able to transition into that type of far-reaching vision that's going to allow you to bring back into your life that which really is for your highest good. And that generally means, like, if you lost out on a relationship with somebody and you feel like it's over and done with, you're straightening yourself out. In the lower mind, that's what you're thinking. In the higher mind, you're seeing that all the power is in your hands. Everybody's got free will, though, so you can do what you can do to magnetize something that you lost that you feel would be right for you now. You can do what you can do. It's always up to the other person, though, of course, you know, because they have that free will as well. So, but the thing about it is that you can make it happen. You can make a reconnection happen. You can reconnect with that person. Then it'll be the ball is in the other person's court as to whether or not they're going to reciprocate, or at least, you know, play ball with you, kind of thing, and take it further. So yeah, right now you're attracting great love and abundance because you have constructed a beautiful home. Like, this is your inner landscape, okay? The home that you are to yourself, you've made it gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And I say gorgeous because I love Victorian. But, you know, it's all to everybody's liking. But you have built a beautiful, solid, ornate structure within you that is like someplace you're very proud to call your home. You know what I'm saying there with that? You're very proud to call your home. So for the past, we've got obstacles to overcome, which is very fitting, right? Obstacles to overcome. The cup is for the present. You should accept valid criticism. And this valid criticism is like, you might be criticizing yourself as you're in the process of constructing, you know, changing up your landscape so that you have this beautiful, proud, you know, you can be proud of home, inner self, inner sanctuary, right? And so the next card is, next one here is Needle and Thread, a sincere wish to be granted. I mean, isn't that just like perfect? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty darn perfect. Okay, a sincere wish to be granted. Wish, visions, fantasies. Okay, so let's get a couple of tarot cards and see where we're going with this. To see if what I'm talking about is like right on or way off. I really don't think so, but you never know. I'm open-minded. Whatever Michael says goes. Okay, Archangel Michael, what do we have for past? The High Priestess and the Eight of Cups. Ooh, yeah. There's an intuition that you've tapped into, of course, with your higher self and your third eye. That it revealed some secrets to you. It revealed what you needed to know. What you needed to know, it was what was causing you to sit in heavy burden. You've been finding a way and a reason why. So you've been finding why, and you've been finding how. With that PSYCHTAROLOGY I talk about, it's psychology, right? But since it's tarot cards, we're doing this through PSYCHTAROLOgy. So the how and the why and the how. Why are you having these experiences that you're having that have been like heavy burdens on you, and how is it happening? How is this playing out, and like why? Again, is like, how is this playing out, and why, or how will I overcome this? That's what I'm trying to say. Why is, of course, the ultimate why, and I've said before, is it's for spiritual development, enlightenment, to awaken to who you really are, who we really are, and that's what the big why, the answer to the big why is for. Why is this happening? Because we made choices against the who we really are part of ourselves. Because we were not in touch with our higher mind, our higher self, right? The higher mind, the soul, and living close to 3D thinking, 3D third dimensional as opposed to fifth dimension, sixth dimension of the higher mind. Being so focused in the 3D, we have been making decisions and making choices from that lower resonancy. Doesn't make you a bad person. Everybody starts off out there, unless you're some kind of, even Jesus started off with he had to learn. He went to the Jesuit priests, whatever, and sat on the steps of the whatever you call it. I don't know. And he asked them questions, and he learned so much from them, from doing that. And then he became more of a higher mind thinker. Here's Michael right here, the sun. So the cup, you should accept valid criticism. This cup is love, right? And let's see, what's the next one? We have Archangel Michael, and we have the Queen of Coins. Okay, so there's the Queen of Coins in the mix here. She's one who likes to live in her imagination. The Queen of Coins, she's in the fantasy realm. She manifests from that type of envisionary thinker. She envisions. She's in that realm of magic, That's where she is. So, Queen of Coins. And the Sun. Let's talk about the Moose, Abundance, and the Child card. We have the King of Wands. Wow. And the Death card as Royale. Yeah. Maybe I should do that with all these. Yeah. What do you think, guys? Do that with all these? Okay. So then I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to see if I can get any more hits of ideas, okay? Intuitive thoughts and ideas. Yeah. There was a situation in your life where in the past, I see that you had endured a great deal of burdens. There's things that you weren't willing to at first let go of, and they become obstacles to you for a path that you may not have readily seen at the time that you were on. But as you began to make the decision to release the burdens, the people and the things that were really heavily weighing on your back, like you may have, your partner, long-term partner or spouse may have been very demanding and or just challenging personality, and maybe they were doing things that just always kept you scrambling in one way or another, making you feel like you couldn't take your eyes off them because of what they might do next if you're not watching. Maybe they were stepping out of the relationship and having an affair with somebody else, and they may have been doing that for a while, or they just did this and you just recently found out about it. But it's been, grief is like, you're grieving because that's an old way of living that you have been living for such a long time. It's become, your operandi, modus operandi, right? It's become your modus operandi in the sense that it's not something that you said, oh yeah, well, I'm going to behave like, I'm going to operate like this in my life. It's not like you made that conscious decision that that's what you're going to do. But it is what it became for you. And so it was familiar. It was home. It was at home. You felt at home in that kind of, 3D focus kind of life. And again, we all do it. We all had to start somewhere. But since then, you've been receiving hits of truth, like ideas have been coming to you. You've been learning some stuff about your current situation, like your current situation then in the past. You were learning things about it, and it might not just be that you were learning how she or he was behaving that was very burdensome to you. You were learning about how you had been thinking, and you might have been looking back, even as far as your childhood back, to say, you know what, I've never really thought about this, that what happened in my childhood was something that would affect me now as in my adulthood. Never really thought that. But intuitively, I'm learning that there's something to be said about that. There's some truth in that. And if you really do think about it, collective, it has to be true, because it's energy. We're all energy. Those experiences that you have are now memories, but they're memories that are energy, that became embedded in our cells, in our brain, the cells, and in other parts of our body that make us, that might be weaker than other parts of our bodies, because whatever it was has been translated into a what do you call it? A weak, just kind of it's caused some degradation in your physical apparatus, in whatever part of your body that is. Okay, so that's something worthwhile to look into too as well. You start realizing the kind of thoughts and beliefs that you're holding on to, on how you had to operate when you were a child in order to protect yourself in whatever way that was, from the minimal to the most greatest kind of threat to you. You had those memories, even though you're an adult and may have escaped the actual reality, the physical reality of it, you are still remembering it. You're still bringing, because how did you forget? How do you forget? You can forget thinking, you can forget by suppressing it and pushing it down, out of sight, out of mind, but it's never out of mind. It might be out of sight for that time. But whenever something else comes into your life, it starts to pull that up into your conscious mind. It starts pulling that pain back up again. And so then we've never really been, we've never been free from it, never really been free from it. And the only time we can free ourselves from it is from healing ourselves from it. So you've been looking back at that and actually giving it some validity, and actually taking it more seriously, in the sense that I should probably think about this, and create the skill or the ability to rise above this by saying, like, becoming aware of it, and then saying, yeah, I don't want to have these experiences in my life for the rest of my life. So you might have talked to your inner self or God in prayer or meditation, and you said, look, God, I need your help. Please take this from me, because I'm an adult now, and I don't want to have experiences where my childhood is still impacting what I'm experiencing in my adulthood. So from doing that, you've been able to walk away from your challenges, overcoming them. You see, it says rising above, and making that transition, because your focus is transitioning. It's changing from the what only ever being able to think about how you can make it happen, how you can make changes happen in your life, like with your sheer will, right? By changing this out, changing that out, getting rid of that furniture, bring in softer, more comfortable furniture, get rid of that person, that romantic partner, and having another one, maybe leaving that particular neighborhood because the neighbors were all, there's the guy next door who constantly blows leaves every Sunday at 5 a.m., that kind of thing. And, there's things in the physical sense that we can do to effect change. But there's always that underlying energy that's causing that emotional instability in the way we think and feel about things. In that sense where I say it bubbles, it comes up. And you're even angrier than you would have expected yourself to be angry. And then that really creates that ripple effect. That big anger really does start. You might just say something wrong, like for example to the neighbor who does the blowing at 5 a.m. Sunday mornings. You might just one day when you're out there, maybe you come home for lunch or you had to come home for some reason, there he is out there, but he's not blowing because that's Sunday mornings, right? This is like a Wednesday. And you see him and next thing you know is, hi, how are you? How are you? Yeah, hi, how are you? You're a butthole, like stuff like that. And I don't mean to that extent, but you might say something that you are going to regret later. That you'll regret later because of the anger that you have been hanging on to ever since childhood, that's been down there, and it makes everything else bigger as a result. So then the present day is that you are been taking that seriously and finding validity in it for you, collective, and as a result you've been transitioning and changing. Now you become the magnet. You realize that things just don't matter. Now, look at this picture right here. That's the world from a far away distance in space. Nothing really matters when you get out there, right? If you were to be able to go out there in space and look back at planet Earth, you would say how small and insignificant our planet really is. I say that in a very loving and respectful way. But it is, compared to everything else out there, that the planet is so small, so small. It kind of puts things into perspective in the sense that nothing really matters, because in the thick of things, if you put it in amongst everything else, it's kind of like, yeah, this is just kind of a little blip in time, or a little blip in my life that is not going to be around forever unless I choose to hold on to it. So you decided you were going to become more in tune with yourself, more loving with yourself, more caring. You have become like you're looking at yourself and you're saying, okay, there is something worthwhile in me. I know there is. There has to be, even though I've been telling myself in many other ways that I'm not worthy. So I'm going to start believing that I am worthy, and I'm going to build myself. I'm going to construct a brand new home in me, the one that I can really be proud of and be comfortable with. This is luxury. You can be truly proud of and quite living in luxury, because that was the Victorian era. Luxury with the types of fabrics and furniture and interior design and woodwork and beautiful, just beautiful, accented and stuff. And so you are coming to the understanding that you've been criticizing yourself, telling yourself that you haven't been worthy, like I said, in many other ways, many different ways, not necessarily saying I'm not worthy. Like you may not actually be saying I'm not worthy to myself, but the things that you do tell on us of what we're thinking. So however we're behaving with others and with ourselves and on our world, it is a reflection of what we're really thinking about ourselves. Even though we would never want to admit to somebody, I don't think that I'm worthy of this or that. That might be going a little bit too far for you to do. But the matter of the fact is, what we do in our lives actually reflects that belief, that there's some kind of belief in you that you really aren't worthy of having the kind of life you want to have and the kind of love you want to have in your life. But the Queen of Coins is here to show you that you just have to live in the la la land. Live in the la la land of manifestations. Become that attractor of jewels and coins. Mountain fresh air living with nature all around you. Just do that, because many things have been revealed to you that what you found wasn't making you happy. It helped you to realize that you are happy. You realize what would make you happy, and you're realizing that you had to do it from within first to construct this kind of inner sanctuary that you have, this inner being, this inner landscape that we all live from, like operate from, with cleaning out our subconscious fears. This is, I mean, just think about it. If you were to clear out your subconscious fears, how happy could you be? I mean, really, how happy could you be? Free of fears. Imagine not being afraid. And the reason how you can be afraid is that you know that you've got God in you, and that God is going to help you release your fears, and then God is going to take care of all the things that you want to have, bring it into abundance into your life, and you don't have to think about it, and you don't have to worry about it. You just know that it will be. You trust and you have faith at that point. Now, once you cleared out the fears, you realize that you can trust the one that's in there, that's trying to help you by shining up through your fears to show you that the fears are not your truth, they've been your lies. So then the near future, you're walking into your new life as a moose. You're imposing, you're powerful, you're independent. You are okay being on your own. You realize your attitude is everything, and therefore you're in trust and faith, knowing that all is okay, because there's a whole hidden realm around us and in us that we can't see unless you have that clairvoyancy yourself. But you can intuit it, and you can know it. You can just feel the rightness of it, the truth of it. But attitude is everything, and that's going to give you the confidence that that's going to help you, that helps you move forward into this life of abundance, and creating fantasy. Like fantasy, fantasy can be your reality. It's just fantasy because it's still in the ethers. You can't see it, but if you keep envisioning it and magnetizing it, it becomes that fantasy that you think that you'd like it to be like this. I like to have that. Look at that castle. It's kind of reminiscent. See the castle there? It's kind of reminiscent of that Victorian home. You can have what you fantasize about, as long as it's not to hurt anyone or yourself. You can have. It'll be right for you. God will say, okay, son, okay, daughter, I have this. I realize now what your desire is in this particular area of your life, and we're on it for you. We're on it for you. We're going to bring everybody in closer through the ethers, the right people, the right person, the right plan, the right resources, and the right time is all just going to come together one after another, in the divine timing, because as it does that, it's like the most perfect. You're just going to be so giddy, happy about it. It's not even funny. But this is a sincere wish being granted. So because you've moved into this powerful energy of the moose, and you're calm, cool, and collected, which is the King of Wands, right? You are a doer with an imagination. You are a doer with an imagination, and the trust in the abundance of all of that. The trust that there is abundance in my imagination, and all I have to do is do whenever it is I feel I'm getting a signal or a sign, like inner knowing or outside circumstances, like a sign you might see, okay, it's time for that next step. And this is where you've decided that everything else that gets in the way of you being a doer with an imagination and feeling abundant with that power and confidence here, you're putting to death. You're putting an end to it. And you're putting an end to it. That's like That's magnificent. Magnificent. Okay, collective. You got a Queen of Coins on your path. Somebody you want to commit to. That's where, you know, Mr. King of Cups right there. Your King of Cups and King of Wands, you have a Queen of Pentacles that she might be committed right now, but if she's not, or even if she is, you would like her to not be committed to that other person so that you can commit to her. Make her your wife or committed long-term partner. Okay, let's get 3 messages, Archangel Michael. Me and my ego, pride or fear in the way, not contacting you, but thinking of you often, replaying over in the mind. All right, so yeah, this, if for relationship-ish situation, definitely here, it's been you and your ego, you trying to overcome your ego. But it was your ego that was keeping you from staying in contact, your ego and pride. The fear was in the way of being in contact with your Queen of Pentacles, the one you want to make your Queen of Pentacles. Bride, wife, partner, interested, love of a lifetime, wedding or event, a commitment or advancement. I mean, it's perfect. You love her and you want to commit to her, and it's going to make you very, very happy. Very, very, you know that. That's what you're trying to attract into your life right now. And then keys on a ring, many options, decision, unconventional, string along, one night stand. Ooh. Keys on a ring. I would say that, you know, these keys on a ring, they open up doors of opportunities, don't they? And it says many options here. So you just have to make a decision. And it's going to be unconventional because you might be somewhat traditional, but at the same time, you're going to be doing things in a way that you're listening to your inner guidance system, right? Your GPS. So that is I see it that way. So I want to look at this. So I got a new deck in called, it's not new, but it's new to me. Charming Oracle, love message, secret love messages. Let's see what collective, what she would say to you when you approach her. You got keys on your ring to give her. Yeah, right there. You have a key on your ring that you'd like to give her, which is a key to your heart, right? And a key to, which is a key to that mansion back there. Let's have a look at what she'd like to say to you. Okay. I wish I handled things differently. I was selfish, immature, and only looking out for my best interests. You deserve someone better than me. Well, okay, maybe she was selfish and immature, and it caused you to, you know, sit in your pride and ego and not stay in touch with her. Other people in the past have used and abused me. That is why I'm careful now and keeping my distance, okay? So she is kind of like the Queen of Pentacles. She's kind of like sitting there making sure that she's more like a Queen of Swords energy. That she makes sure that she is not going to be taken advantage of again, because it's happened too many times. My biggest regret is that I did not fight for this love. Yeah, she's feeling that maybe she thinks that that she shouldn't have, shouldn't have been so immature and selfish, looking out for her, only for her best, and actually, put some more faith and trust in the connection. Now, what would you like to say to her? I've hurt you because it was easier for me. It was easier for me for you to hate me than to tell you the truth. Okay, looks like you both have been kind of sitting in some toxic energy, right? I will come back to you one day and I will fight for this love. Well, that's lovely. And that's what you're working on right now, collective. To come back to her, to fight for the love. Last one. I ended it because I had other things going on that needed my attention. You see, because that was the 3D attention. There was not as much focus on the spiritual and love aspect of who we are. It was more focused on what I can do. At this, in the lower mind as opposed to the higher self mind. Lower self mind is like the ego, the pride, the fears that then makes us focus outside of ourselves instead of inside of ourselves. And if we were more in tune with our inside, we wouldn't be at that lower vibe, that lower mind. We would be in the higher mind when we actually start listening to what it is our heart's desire, truly desires. Not desires from the 3D level, but from the 5D level. Then that would be like love, truth, honesty, clarity, and abundance, prosperity, and just, higher self focus. You would be more focused on being in love with yourself, your higher self, and being in love with your life, and being in love with people as a result of that, and bringing that love into a very important relationship to you. So you ended it with her, and she backed off. I wish I handled things different. She didn't fight for it. She backed off from when you ended it. It was like, okay, well, I guess he doesn't want to have anything more to do with me. I'm not going to fight for this if he's not going to fight for it, that kind of thing, right? But she's been hurt in this, I guess, similar way in the past, and so she's been careful to keep her distance. And it's reminiscent in the sense that you had other focuses. You had other priorities. That this particular love that the two of you may have created between the two of you in that connection wasn't either you couldn't, or it wasn't as important to you than what it might have been to her. So guys, I hope that was good for you, and I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And if you liked it, enjoyed it, then please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It's free. Thank you so much. Bye for now.